My duty is my fate. My fear is to fail. My cry is death. My pledge is eternal service.
Explosive battles, epic gameplay, and jaw-dropping visuals. Warhammer Space Marine 2 has it all. This game has earned my must-play seal of approval, and here's why. Warhammer Space Marine 2 marks a significant leap in graphics for Saber Interactive. While their games have always looked pretty good, they've never been this detailed. The Tyranids swarm the screen in numbers that match the zombies in World War Z, another great game by Saber Interactive. But now, it's set against a backdrop of utter chaos, explosions, forest, and dark corridors of concrete and steel that define the grim world of Warhammer 40k. Even in brighter moments, the atmosphere feels ominous. You can just sense that there is a deeper threat that looms just out of sight. The art and level design are top-notch. As a Space Marine, you wear colossal armor that transforms you into a walking tank. Its gold accents stand out against the gritty backdrop of war. The normal soldiers and tanks that you see look like they're from World War I, but some of the tanks have laser beams. It does show a massive difference in the technology between planets and the forces that you see in the game. The screen is filled with special effects, muzzle flashes, explosions, and later, a mysterious power from the Thousand Suns that teleports reinforcements onto the battlefield. As the game goes on, the graphics only get more intense and impressive. Swinging a massive hammer with electricity flying off of it looks incredible at night when you're going through a graveyard in the middle of a war zone. But it does have a few visual issues. In performance mode, the lower resolution is very noticeable, and terrain LOD shifts can be a bit distracting. However, in 30 FPS resolution mode, the game looks entirely different. Everything is massively improved, delivering a visual spectacle. And if you're playing single player and you want that, playing it in resolution is a must and you won't be disappointed. Also, I have noticed that performance mode has improved with patches, but if you can't download them, you might encounter some frame drops. So just keep that in mind. Now for the gameplay, this one is back to basics. Pick a few things and do them extremely well. It's almost a 50-50 split between melee and ranged combat. While guns are powerful and can drop hordes quickly, when enemies get close it's best to start swinging. The melee attacks are devastating, and the parry system keeps you on your toes. Switching between guns, melee, and dodging feels perfectly balanced. And if you're successful at a parry, or an enemy is weak, you can finish them off in gruesome fashion, like Kratos in God of War. Despite their massive size, the Space Marines move swiftly across the battlefield. These guys are huge. They are about double the size of a normal person. Special abilities and jetpacks make traversal even faster during certain missions. The grappling hook is great for quickly closing the gap to attack. One move even launches you into the air, allowing you to drop down onto an enemy with an absolutely devastating blow. While the campaign is on the shorter side, it's just one part of the game. There are PvE and PvP game modes as well. The PvE mode runs alongside the campaign, featuring different missions that support Lieutenant Titus in his battles. It gives you a full picture of the story. Now in both multiplayer modes, you can customize your Space Marine, create custom loadouts, pick colors, armor pieces, and even choose your class. There are 6 classes in total, and each one of them has its own perk tree. Even though the campaign is short, there is a lot of content to dive into in this game. You play as Lieutenant Titus, a Space Marine who returns to the field after a serious injury. He's up against the Tyranids and the Thousand Suns, a group of defectors and cultists. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Warhammer lore, but I was still able to enjoy and follow the story. If you're invested in the deep lore, you're going to get a lot more out of the game. Thankfully, it's not necessary to enjoy it. The sound design is great. Explosions, gunfire, and melee hits all have that satisfying thud. The world feels alive with ambient noises from the war and chaos, both on and off screen. So I know it takes me longer to get reviews out, but it's because I want to experience the game fully before sharing my thoughts on it. You just never know if a game is going to fall apart at the end or in its extra modes. Warhammer Space Marine 2 does not. I enjoyed this game so much that I even went and picked up the anniversary edition of the first Space Marine game. The game does have some issues in performance mode, but resolution mode runs perfectly. Normally, if a game only has one mode that doesn't run well, it wouldn't get my seal of approval. But Space Marine 2 does have a perfect mode, even if it is at 30 frames a second, and the game earns that must-play seal of approval. It's fun, chaotic, and gives you multiple ways to play. It is a great game. But will you play or pass? Let me know in the comments below. Would you kindly leave a like and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later.